When buying a used car, or simply assessing your own vehicle's condition, one of the biggest concerns is the health of the engine. Contrary to popular belief, total mileage doesn't always reflect the real state of key components like the engine, transmission, or steering system. An engine can be significantly worn even if it starts easily, runs smoothly, and delivers seemingly acceptable power. The absence of obvious symptoms doesn't always mean everything is fine. In fact, severe wear may still lead to costly repairs in just a few thousand kilometers. Next, we'll break down the key signs of engine wear, the most effective diagnostic methods, and what they can and can't tell you without tearing the engine apart. The first step is to analyze how the engine runs. In a healthy motor, you shouldn't experience hard starts, misfiring, knocking, abnormal noises, or excessive vibration. However, even if some of these issues are present, they don't always mean the engine is worn out. They can be caused by unrelated problems like a weak battery, faulty starter, or worn accessory bearings. One of the clearest warning signs is excessive oil consumption. If the engine burns around 1 liter per 1,000 kilometers without any visible leaks, it's likely that the piston rings or cylinder walls are worn. To confirm, check the exhaust. Blue or bluish smoke is a typical sign of oil entering the combustion chamber. You can also remove the oil filler cap with the engine running. Visible smoke here often means worn pistons or cylinders. Another useful check is to inspect the spark plugs. Heavy black deposits or oil traces on the electrodes usually indicate issues with the piston rings, cylinder walls, or valve stem seals. Without specialized equipment, you can only get a rough idea of the engine's condition. Still, 2 common tests can reveal a lot. This measures the pressure created inside the cylinders during cranking. Low readings may indicate worn piston rings, damaged cylinder walls, or valve sealing issues, such as burnt valves or worn valve seats. However, compression alone doesn't tell the whole story. It must be interpreted alongside other signs. By removing the oil pressure sensor and connecting a gauge, you can determine whether the crankshaft bearings and journals are within acceptable wear limits. Low oil pressure, especially at operating temperature, can point to excessive clearance in these components. For a more precise assessment, mechanics sometimes measure the blow-by gases, the combustion gases that escape past the piston rings into the crankcase. This requires sealing the crankcase and using a pressure gauge to measure leakage. While very accurate, this method is rarely performed outside of professional workshops, and most private sellers won't agree to it during a pre-purchase inspection. If compression and oil pressure readings are both significantly below the manufacturer's specifications, around 15 to 20% deviation, the engine may soon require a major overhaul. Depending on the findings, repairs could range from replacing piston rings and valve seals to a complete rebuild involving cylinder reboring, piston replacement, and crankshaft grinding. Determining engine wear is part science, part investigation. No single test can give you the full picture, but combining visual checks, compression testing, oil pressure measurement, and exhaust analysis can provide a reasonably accurate assessment, often without opening the engine. If you're buying a used car, these checks can save you from unexpected repair bills. And if your own engine shows signs of wear, catching the problem early may allow for simpler, less expensive repairs.